Hello and welcome to the third session of Master Talks Inspiration series, wherein students get a chance to meet successful individuals who inspire them to dream big. Our first talk left a lasting impact on our viewers and students. It lifted students' confidence to ask questions and learn from the guests' answers. This is what Master Talk aims to do. And today, with another influential personality, our students and viewers will learn crucial lessons about life and finance. The Master Talk series will inspire and teach you valuable lessons to achieve your dreams and goals. We're very excited to bring an insightful session to you all. I now request our director, Ms. Niyati Kanakya, to introduce us to today's speaker.
Guest today is an inspiration to millions. He's a business magnate, a stock market expert, and a philanthropist. His genius decisions in the stock market have gained him the title of India's Warren Buffett. Starting with just a handful of money, today he rules the stock market. Please join me in welcoming the man with a multifaceted personality, a rare genius, and India's big bull, Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Thank you so much for
First
being
question I have to ask you, Niyati, is bulls are always big? So what do you mean by big bull here? And second thing is, never forget in life that the worst of the mistakes are made in the best of the time. If Hitler had, in the height of his success, if he had attacked England instead of attacking Russia, he would have been, he might still have been ruling the world today. I know what Churchill said, no? It's not his mistake. He never went to school, so he never learned geography. He never learned that, Russia had a winter. And the main reason why he lost out in Russia was because of the winter. He had reached within 6 kilometers of Moscow. And thank you for your kind words. I hope I live up to them.
So today's session is student led, and we have all of our students here. We have Hetvi, we have Avni, we have Sarah, we have Mazabin, Arjun, and Arpita. So I will now give the lead over to them.
Thank you, Ms. Niyati, for introducing us. I'm sure everyone is looking forward to today's session and getting inspired by the pearls of wisdom you will be giving us today.
But you have to not just listen to the words of wisdom. If you think so, but you have to, follow them. I think that's more important.
Yeah.
We have created the Master Talk Inspiration series to gather inspiration for all of us and our viewers. And sir, you have been an inspiration to millions of people. So this makes everyone wonder, who is your primary source of inspiration?
Well, my primary source of inspiration is that we have, the quest to learn is a journey and not a destination. So I may have learned much, but there is much, much, much more to learn. And when I meet young people, I learn from them. I learn from every human. I'm not just saying it for saying it, because you may come up with something which may be very practical, very right? And my inspiration is, when I entered was primarily to earn money, but it's very important. I want to earn the greatest wealth of the world with the greatest integrity. And the means have to be more important than the ends. And I don't care for the world, I care for my conscience. My father used to say, be afraid of only three things: God, wife, time will make you afraid, and third is be afraid of your deeds. It's the biggest charity you can do is the example you set for others. So I am at the moment, if I don't, God has been kind, He has given all of us more than we need. Wealth is not an end in itself, it's a means. Right? So I thought God has given me more than I need. But काम नहीं करेंगे तो करेंगे क्या? What will I do? Rekha will also say, are you not going to the office? Because she's the queen of the house. When I'm not in the house, she's the king. Also. So I work because I enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. I love markets. I'm wait for 9:15 every day. So I do what Warren Buffett asked, what does wealth mean to you? He said, I do what I enjoy. Right? I deal with the people I want. That's what wealth has allowed me. So I work in, क्या बोलते हैं कि Paul Getty had a long range as the richest man of the world. They asked him, how much do you have? He said, if you can count it, you don't have it. And the giver of wealth is God. I want to give him, क्या छूटता नहीं है. So I said, God, you have given me the wealth. Give me the power to give. Mother Teresa had said, give until it hurts. So he's the giver of wealth. Please give me the. I'm not asking him for wealth. The giver is he. When he will take it away, we don't know. I'm not Rakesh Juneja, not because I'm Rakesh Juneja. I'm Rakesh Juneja because he has chosen. So I asked for him that God, give me the power to give. Don't necessarily give me wealth. See, because the giver of wealth is God, and he has cast a duty upon us to use a good part of that wealth for the good of society. So in the means we set, and that's the most important charity. Second thing is we need to use some part of the charity for the good of society. पैसे की has 1,000 bad good things and only one bad thing. You can't take it with you.
So, we have also heard you speak of Radhakishan Damani as your guru. What role has he played in your life?
Well, I have learned a lot of things from him. He's a friend, mentor, guide, all three. And I can never, after my father, I think I've learned the most from him. His humility, his concern, his charity, his trust. And markets can't be taught, they have to be learned. So I basically learned trading from him.
Sir, thank you so much for that very insightful answer. Sir, I believe that each individual has a different perspective of being successful. And we are really curious to know what is your definition of being successful.
See, the greatest success is that the only truth of life is death. Right? And all of us have to go away one day. And Hinduism celebrates death. It says death is part of life. So the day I die, how many people feel from their heart that a good man has died? Right? And I don't want to do anything or change anything so that people say that, I have, I'm a good man. I want to do what I think when my conscience is right. Be conscientious about others. Right? And there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. You have to have empathy, not sympathy. Right? So, my basic judgment of success will be the day I pass away, how many people will feel that a good soul has left?
Never saw it that way, sir. Thank you so much.
So, speaking of success, if you reflect back in your journey so far, what moments stand out that have made you who you are today?
Well, my wife comes from a rich family. She had air conditioner, car, right? We had no air conditioner when, we were married, and I must not have slept in an AC room for more than 5 days, 5 times in my life. She had asked me that, never asked me materially anything up till today. Only thing she had asked me after our marriage is, when will we have an air conditioner in the room? And in the budget of 1989, I earned absurd money. And I went at 2 o'clock in the night. And she said, what happened? I said, our air conditioners have come. And I think that was a period of a material. I always used to love her, and I love her deeply even today. And she's most undemanding. She herself is more than a billionaire, but she doesn't do anything. I've ensured that if she divorces me, I don't pay any alimony. Right? So I think that was the most glowing, satisfying thing materially. Right? And after that, the best is yet to come. Always. We live with that hope.
Absolutely, sir.
So it's interesting to know about the moments that made who you are today. So going ahead, I know for a fact that stock market is a very busy place, and it takes a great deal of zeal, passion and dedication to be an ace investor like you. So I'm really curious to know, what does your typical day looks like?
Well, I have no fit schedule. Sometimes I get up at 10, sometimes I get up at 6. But I don't sleep before 12. मेरी जन्मपत्री में लिखा नहीं कि 12 बजे के पहले सोऊंगा. So then nowadays I follow the markets from home from 9:15 to say 10 o'clock. I do little exercise, I do little yoga, then I have breakfast. I come to the office by 12:31. And then I allocate myself to reading, because reading is what, see, everything affects the market. It's not only financial, all events in the world, trends. So to know trends in the world, I read The Economist. And to know trends in India, I read the Intro. And then I'm in the office, I also invest in a lot of unlisted companies, make analysis of companies. But generally, if we don't have meetings after 4 o'clock, I'm home by 5. If we have meetings, I'm home by 8. Then I try to spend some time with them, not much. The director will drink every day, have 2, 3 drinks, and have dinner, watch some television, watch some OTT, read, and sleep.
Thanks for sharing that with us, sir.
So moving forward, I would love to know, as a student, were you aware or interested in the stock market?
Yes, I was. At the age of 14, that's 1974, my father used to invest in Trillion stocks. So I got curious when we used to discuss markets, the markets. So then I told him, why does the price of Century Mills or Tata Steel fluctuate? So he used to say that there is news coming. See, there is news about Tata Steel, and you'll see that the price fluctuates. And that got me fascinated. And I read some books. The ILO, the International Labour Organization, had published a book, How to Read a Balance Sheet. So I read that, and it's a gradual process of learning. But the most important thing in learning is curiosity. If you are curious, you ask questions. If you ask questions, you get answers. Then that raises further questions. So what I would advise, be curious, and I'm curious about everything in the world. Psychology, food, right, travel. So that's how I learn. And I read. And you should always approach it with an open mind. Closed minds, see, the modern world is about anticipating change, preparing for it, right, and benefiting from it. So you should have an open mind, and also you should be tolerant. Tolerant of all religion, tolerant of all people, tolerant of people who are sexually different. Some are gay, right? Because modern world, I mean, tolerance is the key. As long as somebody does something that doesn't affect you, what's the problem? So I think being tolerant, being accepting everybody's points of view, whether right or wrong, you may disagree. My father taught me 4 golden words. We agree to disagree. So, I mean,
That was a very insightful answer, sir. So moving forward with the next question. As a student who is interested into investing in the stock market, I would like to know what is the minimum amount you think a student can start investing with, and how early should we start?
well, I think you're already older to start. You should have started earlier. And I started life with 5,000 rupees. Of course, I leveraged. So no money is small. And now you can buy 1 share also. But take your father's money and father-in-law's money and husband's money up to a limit. Yeah, you should feel the pain of not investing the money. Not कि पापा ने दिया है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. That cannot be the attitude. And you got to be passionate about it.
Thank you, sir, for that worthy advice. I believe that it really helps students and beginners like me who are looking forward to enter into the stock market.
You must.
Sure.
Markets are like women, always commanding you, always mysterious, always uncertain, always volatile, always exciting.
So, since we are talking about getting
And also it's like a woman. Why? Because, see, Shakespeare said, no fury uncaught than a woman's caught. So I've learned in life that I can have a good relationship with a woman only by respecting her, by adjusting with her, and not by browbeating her. Right? And a lady is a lady is a lady. Chivalry is not dead in this world. Ladies may want to look very modern, but if you don't open the door for them, they won't like it. Let me tell you. So you got to learn that the only thing which is correct is the market. There are no kings in market, there are no queens. The king, queen, everything is the market. And markets are like the weather. Whether you like it or not, you have to bear it.
So, since we are talking about getting started with the stock market, according to you, what kind of mindset or attitude should a person develop before investing?
Well, approach with an open mind, right? Be ready to make a mistake, but only one which you can afford, so that you live to make another one. See, only God can do things where He'll not make a mistake. I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm not afraid to make mistakes, and I acknowledge them. But the biggest cost of a mistake is not learning from it. Third thing is, isne bola, usne bola. They say Warren. Why I want to be Warren Buffett of India? I want to be Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Not as a matter of ego, but we should assimilate. We should read, and we should form our own opinions. Don't be overawed by say Rakesh Jhunjhunwala said. Oh, you may be wrong. So try and develop your own independent thinking. I think, and then I have stock markets are governed by two qualities: greed and fear. Have them both, but to a limited, and be brave when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are brave.
An excellent saying.
But I also want to tell you all talk of the stock market, but do you know why the stock market is there, and the origins of the stock market? See, prior to the Industrial Revolution, there was no need for large capital. It was basically an agrarian world economy. But then the Industrial Revolution happened and you needed large capital. Now, one person could not provide the capital. So, somebody managed the money, but he got other shareholders. So, first it was a partnership. But then in the partnership, somebody wanted to enter into those partnerships, but they wanted to exit also. So, a limited liability companies were formed in which the liability of a partner is limited to his contribution. In a partnership firm, your liability is unlimited. And then suppose you have a firm with 100 people. They wanted liquidity. Somebody wanted to sell, right? So at what price to sell, and to whom to sell? So that's how the stock market came, right? The stock market came primarily to give capital to entrepreneurs and enable the owners who may be silent a liquidity platform so that they could sell to others who wanted to buy. And how to value them was it was discovered in the market, the stock market. Also, you see how important the stock markets are. They are the temples of capitalism. See, this fairest form of government in the world is communism. Why should anyone not be equal? But why did communism fail? What is growth? Growth is application of capital and the productivity. So, there and the allocation of capital there was being done by the state, by the government. In capitalist countries, the allocation of capital is done by the markets and by the individuals. So capital is allocated to the right things. And in communism, there was no incentive to an individual to perform better, right? But capitalism incentivizes you. And what do we say? Humans are mean. Let me say, everybody works in his own interest. Someone does it to very high level, someone does it to a low level. So that's why the stock markets came and capitalism prevailed. Why do you think America is so successful as an entrepreneur, as an enterprise society or the innovative? Because one, America is able to assimilate into America the best talents of the world. They accept them. See, there are no original Americans except the Red Indians. They are all immigrants. So they are able to assimilate people in society, and their capital markets, because they are so deep, are able to allocate capital for risk taking. These are the key of America's success. So that, see how the society is, If you look at any society which has achieved prosperity and retained it, it will carry two qualities. It will have skilled and hardworking people, and it will have democracy. And countries grow a lot. Every country goes through a demographic cycle. You all must have read of the demographic cycle. That is people below the age of 16 and above the age of 60. So the percentage of people in the country who are between 18 and 60, because they are the working productive people. The people below 16 and above 60 have to be supported by those who are working. And everybody goes through a demographic cycle. And the countries develop well in the most favorable area of the demographic cycle. And America went through its greatest prosperity and growth in the baby boomers. The baby boomers age. That was the age when America had the highest best demographic profile. Now India has the best for the next 25 years. 25% of the people above 25 in the world live in India. So the ratio of the non-productive people, I mean those who have been educating or are old, to the people who are working will be the highest in India for the next 20 years. China went through the demographic cycle, but because they limited the number of children to only one per person, now they don't have people to work. And I don't know what you think is the most important duty God casts on us. What do you think?
Give back to society.
Oh, then a greater part.
Having value to whatever you have in life.
Having no. But first thing, it casts upon you a responsibility to propagate mankind and propagate good citizens. If you don't propagate mankind, mankind will die. Japan, from 2040, I think the world population is going to shrink. So the biggest prosperity God gives us is to propagate good mankind. And there is no greater joy in life, and there is no greater weakness in life than children. I may not take a minister's phone or my best friend's phone, but if Aryaman, Puchkor, or Aravir, if they call me, I will take the call.
So, talking about investment, what should the next step for an investor be who has believes that they possess the mindset that you have set up?
No, everybody who has a mindset that I have necessarily, you don't have to have mindset to be necessarily successful. Yeah? I did not have anybody's mindset, I had my mindset. So one thing, I would try to think independently.
Yeah.
There is no one greater in the world. The field is open. You can be greater than anybody or you may not. Sachin Tendulkar, you cannot really play cricket well by his style. Yeah? Even Rahul Dravid's style is good. Develop your own style. And don't captivate or make your mind, gulam, we would say, to somebody's thinking. Read everybody, learn from everybody, but have your own independent thinking.
Sir, I've watched a few of your interviews, and you have been recommending people not to trade, but you have excelled both in trading and investing.
First thing I'll tell you, कि डैडी सिगरेट पीते थे हमको मना करते थे. And in reality what happens, trading goes against human nature. And there is an opinion and there is empirical evidence. I can tell you that if 10 lakh people come to trade, 9,90,000 lose money. Right? So the evidence of your earning in trading is very low. And you earn in trading, you need three things. One, you need to have broad direction, trend, idea of direction. The only two directions are up or down. You should know what to stake, and you should know when to take a loss. Right? So don't stake what you can't afford, and never be afraid to take a loss. That is very, very difficult. It goes against human nature. Rekha asked me, how do you trade? I said, I'm bullish on Tata Steel. I buy shares. The price is 100. She said, if the price goes to 104. I told her, I buy more. She said, anything has changed? I said, no. And he said, what is the price? 97. I said, I sell. Is anything changed? I said, no. So it cannot, the psychology of trading requires you to defeat your ego. The first loss is the best loss. right? That people can't do. And then they go on increasing their stake. And your trading is the highest form of return on capital. Because you're putting 20, you're borrowing 80. So if you earn on the 20. Right? But it is my serious advice that, Churchill has said, you have to lose many a battle to win a war. Losing that battle is very difficult for human being. And George Soros has said, it's not important whether you're right or wrong. It's more important how much you lose when you're wrong and how much you make when you gain, when you're right. And a very good person has said about taking a loss. He says, if you're going through the river Amazon and you put your hand down to feel the water and a crocodile catches the tank, right? Don't put your left hand to save it, that will also go. So, ट्रेडिंग क्या मैं क्या बोलूँगा हिंदी में बहुत विचित्र एनिमल है. Very exciting, very alluring, right? Well, I love trading. The source of all my wealth is trading, because no father gave, and if father-in-law gave, I would not take, because then his daughter would be, would be my boss. So, I mean, you got to understand and stake your own capital. Papa ka mummy money, husband ka money, father-in-law, daddy ka money, never trade with it. And a wise person's biggest wisdom is he knows what he doesn't know. So in certain aspects in life, don't know, don't apply your brain. When I go to a doctor, I trust him. I don't tell him, I don't go to 4 doctors, and I don't sort of want to put my opinion over his. So that's why I advise people not to trade.
This makes it clear for me and most likely for a lot of people.
No, that doesn't mean you cannot be a good trader. You can be, right? Another thing also in trading is always know the rules. Because you play a flush. I always ask first, is the ace king bigger or the ace 2-3? Always know the rules because they may not be what you are assuming them to.
So that is.
I hope my answer is not resulting in sixers, huh?
No.
If it feels so, I'll...
So that was very helpful indeed. So the general public often finds the stock market very.
No, but I want to do one thing.
Yes, sir.
I want each 6 of you to write a essay on what you learned after talking to me, and then I would like to comment on that. You can always have a Zoom call and...
That would be wonderful. So the general public often finds the stock market very intriguing and swiftly gets involved in it. However, due to lack of information and experience, people often tend to incur lots of losses. So what suggestions or precautions do you have for them?
See, investing is a full-time profession, right? Or trading surely is, I can sign with a job in the lunch break, I will see the price, then I'll see. It's a 24-hour job. I have my Bloomberg with me for 24 hours a day. When I get up at 6:37 in the morning, the first thing I do is check the Bloomberg, right? And see, when suppose I get a flu, I would take $1 and keep quiet. And my mother, they will call a doctor. So see, what you don't know, and it's difficult for you to learn unless until you pass a lot of time and effort, you should leave it to the professionals. Buy mutual funds. See, it's very exciting and it's a very egoistic place. It's not only about money, it's whether I'm being right or wrong. But you have to realize, I spend all my time on it. It's my profession, right? But it's not a profession and it can't be a pastime. And I can't buy shares. My friend's father-in-law or my friend's father tell me his company, buy those shares, I'll buy them. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow in the markets. Only God does. Right? And be very wary of the word called risk. It's a 4-letter, very important. See, if you don't risk it in life, life is a myth. The risk, but know what to risk. and realize this is fire. Despite all the attraction, this is fire. And always be ready to lose what you can afford. So that you can afford another mistake.
So, in light of what you said, what according to you is the best way to educate ourselves and find more resources to learn?
See, there are things in life which can't be taught, they have to be learned. Markets and cooking. You can't be taught cooking, you have to learn cooking. Suna, Arvind, right? He's a good cook. I mean, so the only ways, experience, reading, and I would believe whether 5,000 or 10,000, even 5,000 is good enough. You should trade yourself. So you should invest yourself. So experience is the biggest teacher. And I'm not saying it for saying it. I'm learning it every day. Every day I learn. I spent, 32 years in the market as a profession. And before that, I did my CA from 81 to 84. From 1976, I'm reading about markets. I'm learning about them. So,
That was a very insightful answer, sir. I'll definitely keep those things in mind.
Sir, you have been one of India's most excellent stock pickers. How do you pick these stocks? How does it work?
see, I can't tell you in 1 hour what I've learned in 35 years. But I generally, what we do is, I look at the external opportunity. See, the growth of and profitability of Colgate depends on the consumption of toothpaste in India. Right? Infosys became Infosys because of the application of technology, digital technology in societies. So these are events which are caused externally. Tanishq or Titan's watches or jewelry, is driven very much by the growth of India. So first is the platform or the product that you're making, does it have a large enough market? Second thing is competitive ability. Because you live in a competitive society, is a person who has the advantage who will be able to grow. This advantage can come from technology, it can come from size, it can come from entry barriers, which could be set up then like Hindustan Lever. Now to duplicate Hindustan Lever's distribution will take 30 years. So the distributive strength is a competitive advantage. Right? So I have an opportunity, which I demand is the size of the market and the growth of the market. Two is the competitive ability of the organization. Third is people are very important. Right? Fourth is, a lot of people in small companies, they say, I want to buy small cap companies. No, I said, I want to buy small cap companies which I judge will become large cap. So the challenges of scalability. Primarily among them is that a young entrepreneur who's grown his business, he doesn't want to delegate. And it's important what you buy. It's more important what price you buy. You're buying all these internet companies, and the companies may grow and be profitable, but you're buying them at crazy valuations. So your downsides are far greater than your possible upsides. And that's how I at least, and I don't, my mind comes to a conclusion. I don't know how I come to it. It combines all these factors and then comes to, unconsciously combines them and then comes to a conclusion. And don't believe in analysis paralysis. You can predict the direction. Like I tell a lot of, oh, you're bullish on the Nifty, how much will it go up? I said, I know the direction, not the depth. I go home late, have a few drinks. I know Rekha is going to get angry, but I don't know how much. So I can predict the direction, but not the depth.
So you don't use any mathematical formulas?
I don't understand mathematics. For my CA, inter-CA, if I had studied for 1200 hours, 600 hours of mathematics, and I got 650. I never reached beyond set theory. I know arithmetic, I know statistics. Statistics I got 48 on 50. So I'm very good at arithmetic. I don't know any mathematics and I don't believe in any models.
So that is an informative perspective, sir, and a unique one indeed. Sir, you choose not to manage external money, and yet you have started you have started Rare Enterprise, and you are working with some of the best minds in the country. What is your vision for Rare?
It's going to die with me. Because I do not want to my children to do what I want them to do. I want them to do what they like and enjoy. And trading is a very peculiar quality. Rare Enterprise is my trading firm, right? And I don't manage anybody's money except my wife's money. Because I don't want to be answerable to anybody. But with her, I have no choice. I used to do audit, so they will say, I said, get the minutes book. Only in animal, wife and husband are directors. So you have a minutes book in the Companies Act, board meeting, you have to be recorded. They said they have a board meeting every night here. So what is the question? And I chose not to manage external money because, see, I'm very conscientious of what I commit, right? And I don't want to be answerable to anybody. So I thought whatever someone offered me in 2007, that they'll raise $2 billion from me. And they'll give me 1 plus 15 means 1%, 20 million every year and 20% share of the profits. I thought I could earn about $400 million a year, with big money even today. But I said, boss, I don't want to, I contemplated for 15 days. But I say, I don't want to manage anybody's money. I'll have lesser money, but I will retain my freedom.
I think freedom.
And Rekha didn't want to lose a monopoly.
That is one quality that I think the 21st century should be really grateful for, so that because we have idols like you, who can teach us these things, so that we don't make.
No, it can't be taught. It has to be learned.
It has to be.
And the greatest challenge of the 21st century, in my opinion, is mental health.
Yes, sir.
And we are all ignoring it.
Right.
Exactly.
Because people in society get depressed so fast, right? And you need to fight in life. I've had this problem, right? But a girl without legs climbed Mount Everest. A 17, 18-year-old girl who had no legs. If she can do that, we can do anything. I draw inspiration from her.
Totally agree with you.
And so, as an aspiring university student, as I'm sure many of our viewers and panelists are as well, I'm constantly looking for opportunities to build my resume or expand my domains. And I'm very curious to know, how can some of us students apply to Rare for an internship or even a job for that matter?
No chance.
No chance.
Because we are a team of 9 to 10, we could be 11. I'm not going to have a very large team. But see, I don't do too much research. There are two parts of research. One is data, one is analysis. So I want to do my own analysis. I want good data collectors.
Data, correct.
And too many people, I don't think can contribute too much. And I get a lot of offers. I have a place in my office to sit, right? And I would surely like to pass on my thoughts to the young, and therefore contribute in any way I can in their thinking. But to train them for the year, there are a lot of other good organizations who do it.
Thank you, sir.
So, moving forward, as we know that there are ups and downs to everything, and it is in the nature of the markets to be volatile. So, how do you navigate through this volatility?
It's part of life. Well, you should not be affected by it. I navigate because even if I and Rekha do have only 15% of our wealth, I would drink the same whiskey, drive the same car, smoke the same cigarette, eat the same food, have the same holiday, wear the same clothes. My children would go to the same schools. So, I don't have any insecurity. I never dreamt, I never thought that I'll sign a check of 1 crore also. But in my life, I signed a single check of 1,400 crores when I invested in one of the companies. So, it is there today, it may not be there tomorrow. Don't take it for granted. And when you're successful, people, cyphercans will come. You're God, you're the king of the market. I said, send me a ticket to Junjunu also. Because you should realize that success may be temporary and transient. Don't take it for granted. And the worst of the mistakes are made in the best of the times. So you got to be alert. And लोग सब सूली पे को चढ़ा रहे गिराने के लिए. गिरेंगे उस दिन सब ताली मारेंगे. So I'm a chickney andi. Doesn't affect me. In 2008, I first became a billionaire. I came on the Forbes list. Next year, my portfolio was down by 40%. So they used to ask me, "Are you still a billionaire?" I said, "Yes, very much, but I don't know in which currency." Because they used to measure in dollars, right? And in 2009, Z News made a snippet on half an hour show, "Ki Big Bull ki Dabba Gul," right? And Rekha got angry, but when the press and the wife say something, it's better to keep quiet. So take it as people are going to, success को हाथ जोड़ेंगे और लॉस का मजाक बनाएंगे. हंसो अपन भी साथ में, क्या है? We are not taking any favors from them. So that's life. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Sure. So those are some.
Don't let success, make your belief in yourself. Always be insecure about it.
Those are some valuable words of wisdom. I'm sure we can all take something away from it. So you're entering the aviation business, and since you're such an astute investor, should we assume that that sector is in a deep value stage at the moment?
Well, I will not comment on it. That's for you to judge. But the valuation of listed companies are in my personal opinion, are in deep overvaluation. Right? I mean, Indigo's market cap is 70,000 crores. So these sector and the market is very well valued. Right? But see what happens. Any industry in which there is subpar pricing and all players are losing money, that has to change. And I'm very bullish on the demand for aviation in India. My help lives near Darbhanga. He goes by plane because it costs 8,000. Train costs 2,000. So he says, "Bhaiya, you pay half, right? And I'll pay half. But send me by plane." And see, India is now there is an experience in all the economies in the world that whenever per capita income goes above 2,000, 2,500, then you have money for discretionary spending. The first thing you spend is on proteins. The poor man will give some better milk, he'll eat more chicken, more mutton, right? More vegetables. And on education, healthcare, and entertainment. So these are the sectors in which when the poor reach that income level of $2,500, the demand will just go through the roof. And you have places in India where the per capita income is 10,000, like Delhi, Bombay. So, but when the 2,300, 400 which we have now goes to 3,000, that 10,000 will go to 14,000. So those people will become, they've gone to the education, healthcare, proteins, then they will go on entertainment, flying. So I think the demand for the aviation market in India is going to go through the roof and the pricing is going to get better.
So in light of that, was that your vision behind starting a low-cost airline?
Well, though I won't say vision and visionaries, but I thought it could be profitable. And I got the best management team possible. And I'm prepared for failure. But I have confidence on one thing, that when I came to the market with 5,000 rupees, lots of people thought that I'll not go to the market. My mother said, "Who will marry you? Chartered accountant from Marwadi family," right? But I had my hopes, my parents' blessings and God's blessings, and I had my skills and my 5,000. I started. Most people said he'll have to beg and come back, but I proved them wrong with the grace of God. So most people think that the insurance industry is not, the aviation is not good. So I'm ready for a failure.
Absolutely, sir.
So we're just so amazed by how optimistic and fearless you are, sir. And
No, not fearless of my wife. Huh? And of God. I'm fearful of God. See, I don't believe, we must acknowledge one thing. You know, they say जो नास्तिक है उसको आस्तिक मत बनाओ, right? But what are you saying? We have to. What the question was?
I was just asking my question.
Now, what was the question?
No, I was saying how fearless you are and how courageous.
You're fearless because of your deeds. And don't forget, you live in a democracy. You know, Yukos was the largest oil company of Russia. One day, Putin didn't like the promoter, he put him in jail. Now, China has told, you know, they've nationalized that car riding company. They've cut down the size of a Jack Ma's company, Alibaba. That can't happen in India. India is a democracy. So you be fearful of your acts. And optimism is be optimistic. Otherwise, you always have to reserve bank bonds. And I'm a risk taker. I love taking risks. It excites me. Just call Vijay. No? Just call Vijay. I'll be telling them. It can be edited, no?
Yeah.
So,
Pause also for 2 minutes. Yeah.
No worries.
Young lady, you're not asking any questions? What's your question?
I think she got a little scared.
विजय को बोल मेरे को बुकलेट देगा. I want to tell you about risk. I have written the booklet on the various articles, some by me, some by somebody else. Then I wrote an article in 2002, India on the bull of a structure and secular bull market. And I've written a collected essay on happiness. What is happiness? What does it mean? How temporary and transitory and how non-material it is.
Happiness.
Happiness is basically contentment. If you're contented, you're happy. And you may want to, another person may have much better than you. You are right to aspire but not envy. चालू रखना. You can edit it. Shoot, come on.
yeah, so we are curious to know that are we seeing a Rakesh Jhunjhunwala 2.0 where you are emerging as an entrepreneur from just an investor?
Well, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an investor. But I'm an investor entrepreneur. Booklet. Right. And see, I'm not bothered what I am. I myself don't know what I am. Right? I'm not a put on that I know. I do what I enjoy. And I really enjoy, investing, private equity investing, because that has made me much better as an investor. And there is much more interaction with humans. See, I'll tell you. I'll read this out to you. It says, there is a very common problem for all of us in life. We hesitate while taking risks. However, life is also a great challenge. And don't we all risk it? Hence, they advise it. Risk it, you may discover a new person in yourself. To laugh is to risk appearing a fool. Right? To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out for another is to risk involvement. To express feelings is to risk rejection. Right? To place your dream before the crowd is to risk ridicule. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To go forward in the face overwhelming odds is to risk failure. Right? But risk must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. Right? He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he cannot learn, feel, change, grow, and love. Right? Changed by his attitudes, he is a slave. And only a person who takes risk is free. Please send this. This is what I said. And we have a prayer which says God's grace and elders' blessings. A motto. When the mind is without fear and the head is held high, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let us awake. See, you can do this motto only if you do your acts. What acts you do? आपके कर्म क्या है? Then only you can hold your head high. And then an aim to win all wars despite losing a battle. And do you know one thing? These four sayings. The golden rule is that there are no golden rules. Markets can remain irrational longer than the rational being can remain solvent. This is by Keynes. The earlier one was by Bernard Shaw. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. This is Winston Churchill. And there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken of the flood leads into fortune. Omitted, all voyages of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. There's one thing common, all four are British men. And this says you must seize opportunity. When you see opportunity, seize it with both your hands. Right? Then he says you must give. He says we live in a dynamic world, there are no rules. And he says that markets can be irrational longer than we can be solvent. So don't defy markets. Don't think, XYZ company's valuation 1.5 lakhs, it will go to 3 lakhs. So I've collected all this and none of the bulls I bought.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us these profound words. Moving forward, as we know that you have been known to remain a big bull on India, sometimes it is difficult to decide whether you're more bullish on India or on Indian markets. So I would
Well,
like to know what
yeah, you would like
makes
to know?
you so
Sure.
optimistic about India.
I'm so optimistic about India. Do you aware India was 30% of world GDP in the 17th century? There's a song just get my phone, no? You must hear this song about India. What happened to you? Now, do you know the significance that in the Roman numerals there was no zero?
Yes.
Aryabhat gave the zero. That's the basis on which all mathematics and all science is. People don't understand the significance. बोला ना आप भारत इंडिया अरे अर्थ और मून को कैसे नापते थे? Right? And I want to show you something else. I showed this to the Prime Minister. Right? You know what Mark Twain said about India? You all heard of Mark Twain?
Yes.
Right? One thing he said is, you should not trade.
You should not.
When you have money and when you not have money, at both times. I made the Prime Minister hear this song, and what Mark Twain said. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable, our most valuable and most instructive materials in the history of man are treasured up in India. So we have an ancient civilization. We are a skilled people, right? We made the atomic bomb. Did we steal it? The technology, did we sell it? We sent a vehicle to Mars, in which we had 10% of the cost that NASA did. And to go to Mars, there is a commentary on Netflix. You have to go into what do you call usko kya bolte hain? The pull of the earth. What do we call it?
Gravity.
Gravity, and come out of gravity so 100 times. Right? We want look at the success of NRIs, CEOs of Microsoft, CEO of Apple, they're Indians. Right? So skill is a genetic of Indians. And I'll tell you an example why. Diabetes is the most researched disease in the world. Why? Because only the rich and fatsos like me get it. And you have to eat medicine every day. So then that medicine is sold every day. So they found that Indians are very prone to diabetes. Then they made the test of what happens over. See, diabetes can be because of diet, right? So because of diet, mental state. Then they did research on people in Australia, in Fiji, in England, in New Zealand, in America, right? And they found that anybody of Indian origin is prone to diabetes. So they concluded that diabetes among Indian is a genetic, right? So should be skills. Skills only do not belong to those who are not resident in India. So we have the inherent qualities, and we are a democratic country. If you look at any society which achieved prosperity and then retained it, some have achieved prosperity without democracy, but nobody has retained it without democracy. So we have both the qualities, and we are in the most favorable phase of a demographic evolution. Right? Also, we have entrepreneurial class established. The irrelevance of the internet has allowed us to export services. Right? And India has got geographically the Himalayas, the deserts, the sea. I think we're one of the longest coastlines in the world. So God cannot be so unkind that He will give oil only in the sands of Saudi Arabia and in the waters of Iran and Oman and which is this, Qatar. It will give it to India also. We have vast natural resources. So why should India not prosper? And everything in India has gone through a churn of opinions, counter opinions. And change is not thrust, it's bottoms up. So when there is biological evolution, it's more permanent. So I see all qualities in India, and I think India has raised its rate of growth in every decade since independence. So my prediction is by 2025 we are going to go 10%, and we are going. If China did it for 15 years, we'll do it for 20. So that's why I'm bullish on India. And if there is good GDP growth, there is a growth in corporate earnings. In 2007, corporate earnings were 8% of GDP. In 2019-20, they're 3%. They're going to go back to 8%. And then we have set up We're living in a country with $1 trillion of savings. This is supposed to go to 3 trillion. So what do you do of savings? One, you reinvest in business, companies reinvest, you buy land, you buy jewelry, or you have financial savings. The percentage of financial savings to total savings is just going up. And then we have created an infrastructure to mobilize these savings for risk taking. We are well regulated. In India, you get your money in 2 days when you sell. In New York, it takes 3 days. And we are very well regulated. So why will money not come? So you have growth potential, you have earnings potential, and you have huge savings for investment. And now the world wants to invest everywhere. Because you have a pension fund in America, he gets 1% return in debt. How is he going to pay the pensions? So we know it's happening. Or, I meant the title of my presentation to Prime Minister was अपना टाइम आएगा नहीं, अपना टाइम आ गया है. हिंदी पिक्चर में बोलते हैं ना कि मुहूर्त हो गया है, कन्या को लाइए. अब इंडिया का भी होने वाला हो गया है. Consequently, I'm so bullish.
Absolutely, sir. I think the Indian economy is set on an unprecedented path of growth because of this visionary mindset and progressive attitude. But, sir, is there something that you worry about India or the Indian markets?
Well, I worry about geopolitical risks. Because see, Pakistan is a failed state and it has a nuclear weapon. Now, India has made a doctrine of no first use. But Pakistan in desperation, they could do anything. I'm one, afraid of that. Two, I think we need Modi ji at least for another 8-10 years for India to really grow. I wish him and his health very fine. He's in unbelievable health, right? At the age of 72, I think, or 71, he works at least 20 hours a day. And selfless, he's given his life for the nation. No brother, no sister, no wife, right? And I don't think there's a third risk. For Modi ji is only mostly helping us do what he's helping us unleash the potential of Indians. And he's doing with great social welfare. You know what Nal se Jal means? You have to go and find a water source in a village. You have to lay a pipeline to each house. You have to test the purity of the water. And they hope by 2024, every rural household in India will be connected with water. 40% to 50% of disease for children is waterborne. And ladies walk for 6 kilometers to get a bucket of water. Do you know what Jan Dhan means? I could get a passport 5 years ago or 10 years ago if my help wanted to remit 10,000 rupees. To his village, it cost 300 rupees and take 8 days. Now it costs 10 rupees and takes 3 minutes. Right? Why should we not have clean toilets? Right? Gandhiji said cleanliness is next to godliness. And so the social welfare that we are able to do is so important. And we can only have real social welfare when India grows. So there will be jobs and we'll have far greater amount of money to spend for social welfare. And I believe that with Modi's leadership, we can go to 10% growth. And I am very much enamored by his concern for the poor. He and Lal Bahadur Shastri were the only two prime ministers who saw poverty. He knows what it is for a mother to cook on a chula and what effect it has on her eyes and lungs. That's why we have the LPG program. So it's my dream that every Indian should have a house, should have a job, should get his children educated, have medical care, eat good food. I think it's only possible with growth and great social welfare, which I think Modi ji will be able to do both.
So, sir, moving forward and speaking of optimism, what sectors do you believe have the potential to outperform over the next 5 years?
Well, it's a buffet. Everything is going to outperform by turn. It's a relay race, right? When you go to the buffet, Eat what you like, but don't overeat. So I'm not thinking, I don't like to talk of sectors and companies.
So, as you mentioned, and the same feeling goes for us, it is very encouraging seeing India make so many advances on the world stage in so many avenues. But there, in comparison to other countries that are developed, financial literacy in India is comparatively less. So, according to you, what can be done to improve this rate of financial literacy?
Urbanization and education. Because when you're urbanized, you're more conscious, and education is the means by which financial literacy will come. I think the government of India has done what it could, right? और क्या होता है कि अपने बुलाने से आएंगे नहीं. Time will bring them. So financial literacy cannot be imposed. And you must understand one thing, that we have had only 75 years of freedom. America has had 225 years.
Yeah.
So the whole process, as we develop, as we have more education, as we develop the financial markets, more and more people will be able to.
Financial literacy. Absolutely, sir.
Sir, you talked earlier about helping other people, and recently you have laid down some charity plans, such as setting up a foundation with over 500 crores of capital.
5,000, not 5.
5,000? I might have that wrong. Apologies. This makes it clear that finance is an emotion to you, but you have a soft side for charity as well.
I don't have a soft side. I think it's my duty. And I can't take my wealth with me. And how much I'll give these rascals and the princes?
And that answers my questions. I wanted to ask, what is the
Wealth is a very wrong thing. No, I can't take it with me. I tell Rekha, if I don't, let's spend. Because if we don't spend, our daughter-in-laws and our son-in-law will spend it all.
So I'm very sorry to interrupt this conversation, but I think we only have time for one last question.
So, sir, you have certainly reminded us about the awesome power of compassion through your philanthropic acts and the importance of practicing humility. So, talking about leadership, we would like to know that as we see a lot of women entrepreneurs emerging, so what do you think the government and the private sector should introduce in order to support?
But therefore, I don't like this idea. Otherwise, women say we are independent, we are equal. And then they want aid from the government and not to the men. So you as a woman should have attitude, I don't want anybody's subsidy. जो आदमी को मिलता है वो मुझे मिलना चाहिए.
That's true.
What government can do is, see, it's a process. If women have less household jobs, see, they say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. So an ideal thing for people who are, women who devote their time to bringing up children are doing the best thing in the world possible. But it's very important for the economy, because today, if suppose 18% are women working, if 50% work, we'll have so many more jobs, so many more hands. And I think what women need to have to do is be education, be bold. Parents need to give equal status to girls. A girl is, more important than a boy. So we need to raise the attitude and status of women in our mind. I think, and government is helping whatever they are. But why should the fairer sex say, no, I want help because I'm a woman. Otherwise, I'm equal. But now I'm a woman, please help me.
That's true.
So that one thing I want to tell you, 2-3 things. Let's see, when you start life, you see a horizon. You feel how distant it is. When you cross the horizon, you know how many more horizons there are. When we start life, we are all with uncertainty. We are walked with insecurity. But when we achieve something, we know how much more there is to achieve. And one thing I wanted to tell you, which I said, I didn't know I said it, that I said it, but somebody sent it to me. It says, I also don't know that I said it, but somebody sent it to me. It says, whatever you can do or dream, you can. Whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power and magic in it. And always dream. Without dreaming, you can't achieve. But dream with a head held high and your feet on the ground. So always be practical. And the world is yours. There is how बूंद सागर से कितना बूंद निकाल सकते. How many drops of water can you take from the ocean? And nothing in life comes fast and easy. That which comes with pain and with time is most treasured. And I have learned in life that if the race is not going to end tomorrow, right, it is always the tortoise who wins from the hare. And just don't follow anybody because he does this, he does that. And don't be envious of anybody. And dream. Nothing is impossible in the world. Impossible is a word in a dictionary of fools. And therefore never limit that I'll not be able to do this. What do I have? I said, I come to the market and find it. When we dig the hole, we know what is there. And always be conscious of India and Indianness. Have love and patriotism. Be practical. Right? And be tolerant of others' views, others' rights, others' freedom of choice. Of course, I'm a non-vegetarian, but my wife won't eat eggs, right? Therefore, okay, she doesn't eat. Doesn't mean she doesn't like non-vegetarians, right? So you got to be tolerant towards what others are. And remember, the world is yours to win. And it is better to have tried and failed than not have tried again. And every failure, learn from it. There is going to be failure along the way, but have faith in yourself. I don't know what else I can say. I get inspired when I see young students. And I hope it's been educative to you. I've enjoyed it.
Very much so. We learned so much from you.
Thank you so much for giving us your valuable time today. I'm sure I can speak for all of us when we say it was truly inspiring.
My word is
to
my
hear.
bond. I told you I'll do it. I'll do it. We had to postpone it 2 times.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It was
Huh? Very good. Believe in India. There is no substitute for hard work and passion. Be conscious of the means you use for achieving your ends. Dream, dream, dream. But with your head held high and your feet on the ground. God may bless all of us always. And I could write far more than But it's great interacting with students, and they were good, incisive questions. I really enjoyed it. But the teachers are doing after nursing, the most noble profession in the world. Nursing, I think, is the noblest of professions. most important thing in learning is curiosity. If you are curious, you ask questions. If you ask questions, you get answers. Then that raises further questions. So what I would advise, be curious, and I'm curious about everything in life.